Well, things have really popped in the past 10 to 15 minutes here. So, we've got a number of tornado warnings in our western portions here, and just in the past 10 seconds, the tornado watch has been expanded to now include all of St. Louis, Douglas, and Washburn counties. A couple hours ago, originally issued for Burnett, Pine, Carlton, Aiken, and Itasca counties. That runs until 9 o'clock. We'll see if the St. Louis, Douglas, Washburn is for that same time period or maybe extended an extra hour or two. This is the reason why we've got several pockets of some pretty intense thunderstorms that have developed and strengthened over the past hour or so. The main focus, at least for the past hour and a half, has been down into parts of Aiken County, Crow Wing, Cass counties. This particular cell right here was sporting that tornado out to the north of Brainerd, passing through Crosby just to the north of that. And you can see just that little bit of difference in the coloring. Possible rotation making its way along Highway 210 heading towards Aiken. So this is your warning, Aiken. If you got anybody in that area or in the other parts of southern Aiken County, this is the area of greatest concern, at least for the next 30 to 45 minutes. There is a second part of rotation here being observed farther to the south there into parts of our southern Aiken County. That's a different tornado warning that is in effect until about 6:15 p.m. And then within the past 15-20 minutes, we've had a couple other spots of rotation surrounding Grand Rapids here. So this tornado warning, far southern Itasca and just to the north of Hill Lake there in Aiken County. You can see that difference in color there, signaling possible rotation within the storm cell. So if you got anyone on Highway 169 between Hill Lake, Grand Rapids, be on the lookout. This one, another little bit of rotation just to the south of Greenway and moving northeast at a very slow pace, about 15 miles per hour. So anyone along the heart of the Iron Range there on Highway 169 between Hibbing and Grand Rapids, this is your warning right now. This could be a potentially strong wind situation that could also have a brief tornado as part of it. All of this associated with a low pressure system that still somewhat centered down here into west central Minnesota. We have seen some showers around it, but now the focus is this line right there. This is the area where we could be seeing some pretty strong and severe weather. It has been happening, and it will continue to make its way to the east and northeast throughout the evening hours. And again, greatest danger, in addition to possible tornadoes, large hail over 2 inches in diameter, wind gusts over 60 miles per hour. So we're going to keep you up to date throughout the newscast here of any new warnings that pop up. But I'm going to send it back to you, Dan, so I can get the latest on these current warnings.
Yep.
Marine layer, warm elsewhere, mid-60s right now. Now, as we take a look at the radar, you can see that we do have a little bit of shower action starting to pop up. Some of this may not be hitting the ground here, but Ashland could see a little something here. Two Harbors as well, also up to Hibbing. This is nothing to worry about. This is what you need to worry about for tonight. We've got a very strong line, and yes, potentially a tornadic situation in the Bismarck area over the next 20 minutes. A little cluster of storms forming near Jamestown in North Dakota. All of this is going to be making its way towards us in the next 4 to 5 hours here as this low pressure system rides the front and brings all that instability towards us. Within the past hour, a moderate risk of severe weather just to the west of us. We still have the enhanced risk and the slight risk across the region here. The greatest threat is looking to be winds gusting over 80 miles per hour. And a few of those storms could also have large hail, maybe a weak spin-up tornado as well, flooding as well. So we are going to be watching this throughout the night, folks. 50s and 60s when it doesn't rain. We've got an active weather situation pretty much setting itself up here, not just for tonight, but for the weekend with the heat and humidity, and then staying somewhat active, although not as severe next week, with a little bit of a cool down. There's a little break, and fortunately, it is going to be tomorrow morning. So yes, for the times currently set for Grandma's Marathon, shouldn't be too bad. Maybe a lingering shower, but most likely not along the North Shore. Upper 50s, low 60s will be the times and the temperatures that we'll be seeing for the start of the half marathon and the marathon once we get closer to 8 o'clock. Winds will be slightly coming off the shore, or coming onto shore, I should say, even down here in Duluth. So even though it's going to get up into the 70s by about the noon time in Canal Park and the Bayfront area, it's still going to feel pretty nice next to the lake. So again, best of luck, runners. You should have some pretty good weather on your way. And you can see the cool temperatures, 52 Schroeder right now, 61 Grand Marais and Isabella. But get away from that marine later, you still got the 70s. 75 Crane Lake, 79 Effie, 76 up in International Falls, 74 in Grand Rapids. Cool 56 with the marine layer in Cloquet, 62 in Moose Lake, but you're already still at 70 Ruffledge, 79 Hinckley, 79's Minot, Lynn, Siren, Spooner, 78 in Hayward. And then you got the Chequamegon Bay, 60 in Ashland, 56 Odena, and still a toasty 77 in Ironwood. Winds are starting to get a little calmer for now. As you can see, still coming out of that east, but a southeast flow as well. This is what we are watching. Low pressure system, wave of instability, stationary front, which is going to allow it to push right towards us here. And you can see in North Dakota, a very active situation starting to set itself up here and is happening right now. Jamestown seeing a tornado, Bismarck seeing winds possibly over 80 miles per hour. And all that is going to be making its way towards us. So over the next couple of hours, we'll be watching the radar. We'll be seeing how these lines of showers and thunderstorms are going to be making their way across the region here. It is looking to be mainly a wind event as it makes its way through the overnight hours. By sunrise tomorrow, maybe still a few lingering showers or thunderstorms, but for most of us, Saturday is a clearing day, a partly cloudy day, a very nice day. But before that, winds, large hail possible as well. Flash flooding is possible too, maybe a brief tornado in a spot or two. It's going to be a very active night, unfortunately. And with that, the potential is there for some pretty heavy rains too. Just getting word from the Weather Prediction Center out through the National Weather Service that there is going to be some locations that are going to see with this line downpours with rainfall rates of 2 inches per hour, maybe a spot or two over 3 inches, if not nearing 5 inches of rainfall. So we do have a flood watch for most of the Northland, minus our southern counties and Couchiching County. If you get a couple of those heavier downpours, be prepared for some of that flooding that's going to be taking place in those low-lying and poor drainage areas. Otherwise, temperatures, not too bad tonight. 50s, some 60s hanging around as well. But as that warm front makes its way to the north, a lot more 80s and yes, low 90s for highs on your Saturday. Combine that with dew points, which are going to be on the muggy side, the tropical side. 70s looking likely for many of us, except for right next to the lake. Feel like temperatures into the 90s, low hundreds. Staying a little bit more on the southern half of the region tomorrow, but Sunday definitely making its way into the Iron Range and Rainy River Basin. So we do have an extreme heat warning for our southern counties this weekend. Heat advisory farther north. Better chances of seeing the 90s for heat indexes. This area, the best to see the low 100s at times. It is going to be a fun next couple of days, folks. After that, we cool on down. Still keep some shower and storm chances going, but definitely the cool side of summer. We do have a severe weather threat. A tornado watch continues for Itasca and Couchiching counties until 10 o'clock. And you can see that little corner right there, northwest Couchiching, under a tornado warning until 9:45 p.m. This is the storm that has been causing it farther southwest into Lake of the Woods County. There have been sightings of tornadoes with a couple of these storms as they're still coming together here. So if you are anywhere between Badette and Emo, along, I believe that is State Highway 11. Well, you know that area pretty well if you live there. Take shelter now. It's going to be about the next half hour as some pretty strong winds, possibly some hail making its way through. This is not a very big event that has been happening here, but you can see within the past 15 or so odd minutes, another little line of thunderstorms starting to form to the west and north of Bemidji. Bemidji was hit hard early Saturday morning, unfortunately. Across the region, not a whole lot else otherwise. A few little showers starting to pop up in the boundary waters. That's about it, but a sign that things could get a little bit more interesting as we go through the next couple of hours. Otherwise, the story of the day, the heat. 80s, 90s across the board, and then factor in some dew points that have been in the 60s and 70s. And yes, it has felt in some locations above 100 degrees. St. Croix near the river there that separates Minnesota and Wisconsin, 106, the highest reading here in the Northland. But you may have noticed things are a little bit cooler by the head of the lakes here. And yeah, noontime, 50s, still pretty much along the western tip of Lake Superior, even by 5 o'clock, still in the 50s. and not much of a change since then, although it has been shrinking just a little bit each time. But right now, 51 in Superior, 58 up at the airport in Duluth. Still a balmy 86 in Solon Springs at this hour, and those temperatures stay in the 80s. Ironwood, Siren, Hayward, Aiken, Moose Lake maybe getting a little bit of that lake breeze coming in, or a little cloud cover. 75 in Hibbing as well, and it feels just like that. 60s, 70s across the board. The only relief has been right next to the lake. All right, so we do have that low pressure system making its way across the region here, and we are going to continue to watch it progress across the area over the next 24 hours. So showers and thunderstorms possible tonight. A few of them could be strong, if not severe, staying in the 60s for your lows. Tomorrow, 70s and low 80s for everyone, but less humidity and fewer clouds. We'll get you the full details and keep you up to date on that warning as it develops, Dan. I would like to make a joke about the superior form of coolness this weekend, but we do have some severe weather that we are watching right now. We are tracking a bit of a cold front making its way across, and some development on the south end of this line of showers and thunderstorms making its way through. We still have a tornado warning happening for northwest Koochiteen County, and if there is anything, this is a radar beam that is more than 2 miles above the ground, but there's possibly any bit of rotation right there, which would mean that the strongest winds are in between Border and Manitou, moving to the northeast here. So in about the next 15 minutes or so, anybody on Highway 11, both on the U.S. and the Canadian side, please take shelter. We don't know if there's anything on the ground or if anything is going to be forming tornado-wise, but this has got a pretty strong wind signature and hail signature as well. So be in your safe spot, basically west of International Falls on Highway 11 for the next half hour or so. That is where we have the tornado watch for Koochiteen and Itasca County. No discussion of anything is going to be extended out more to the east, but we'll find out from the Storm Prediction Center as we go through the next 40-odd minutes or so. Otherwise, after today, things are going to get a lot better around here when it comes to humidity. Maybe a bit more on the cool side of summer and some more rain chances. But let's talk about late Friday night, early Saturday morning. Hard to believe, less than 48 hours ago. This is what started it all. Nice little line of showers and thunderstorms making its way pretty quick in just 4 hours, covering half of North Dakota there, causing some pretty hurricane-strength winds in Bismarck, a couple other supercell thunderstorms west of Fargo near Jamestown, some picturesque tornadoes there, and in a couple hours later, that line started to form here in the Northland, our first severe thunderstorm warnings just before midnight, and then the worst of the winds just to the west of the Northland, hitting Bemidji hard, some of those wind gusts up to and around 100 miles per hour. They're dealing with the damage there, and then that line basically taking that Bow Echo and derecho-like setting as it made its way across the region here. Heavy rain up to the north as part of a wake low and continuing across. A whole lot of different storm reports being here. Highest wind gusts in the Northland officially just near Bayfield at 78 miles per hour. Deer River had a gust of 60. We had 3-inch hail just southeast of Grand Rapids and Blackberry. And of course, a number of trees, power lines down across the region. And it did also bring some pretty impressive rainfall totals. And some of these areas got a couple inches of rainfall earlier in the week, so it's going to be a wet June for some people in the Northland. And it may continue tonight as well as we are watching this cluster of storms make its way across the region. It's all associated with a low pressure system that is to our west here. There's the cold front behind it. The low is going to make its way to the northeast. The front is going to continue to make its way to the east. So we are going to continue to see some showers and thunderstorms pop up along that front, but it's going to be a little bit more capped across the majority of the Northland. Still the possibility there for a shower or two here or there, and yes, it could be a little strong, maybe severe with some gusty winds and hail, and then we'll watch everything move on out, giving us a nice sunny afternoon. So yes, there is a slight risk for severe weather for a good chunk of the Northland. I'm a little bit more skeptical as we get later on in the night, but just like we did late Friday, early Saturday, the potential is there for some winds and hail, maybe a weak tornado, but I think that risk is going to be decreasing as we go over the next hour. Otherwise, 60s for your lows tonight, 70s as well. We did have some low 80s for lows last night, and that'll be the case again tonight. Otherwise, 70s, low 80s for everyone tomorrow. Take a look at the winds. They're going to be shifting direction out of the west, and that is going to help with the dew points. So bye-bye 70s, bye-bye 60s. By tomorrow evening, we're going to be in the 50s for your dew points, which is going to be a lot more comfortable across the region. Okay, so some of us, it's just going to be more of the same, I guess. Anyhow, after a nice Tuesday, we got some more shower chances going on across the region.
Let me say bye-bye.
Oh, you like that?
Yeah, I liked that.
Okay. Just a new warning being issued here with that storm cluster in Coochiching County. It is a severe thunderstorm warning until 10:15, and that will include International Falls. So we'll update that with our next forecast segment in about 25 minutes.
Okay, thank you, Rusty.
Welcome back. So, the only severe weather that we have in the Northland is in northern Coochiching County with this particular thunderstorm that has been making its way through the northwest portion of the region. We do have a tornado warning basically for the northern part until 10:15. That's also how long this severe thunderstorm warning is in effect, basically in some rural areas out to the north and west, but eventually in about the next half hour could be impacting areas just to the north of Little Fork, including International Falls. The greatest concern, and you can see it a little bit better here, right to the southwest of Emo. A little bit of rotation being picked up here. Not sure if it's actually reaching the ground, but the potential is there. It is moving to the northeast. So yes, anybody on State Highway 11 in this region needs to be on high alert and in their safe locations. Good news on the tornado watch. Itasca County has been dropped. Coochiching County, we're going to get a couple more of these storms through here. That will run until 11 o'clock. So I'm going to stick around to make sure everything is all right, hopefully in about a half hour's time.